Welcome back to our channel, Bookzo English. Today we are talking about something every human wants, but not everyone truly understands, and that is respect. My name is Avenil, and in this story we will learn that respect is not given freely. It is earned slowly through actions, habits, and character. Many people say, "Why don't people respect me?" Some think respect comes from money. Some think respect comes from power. Some think respect comes from age. But real respect comes from how we live every day. Respect comes from how we talk, how we behave, how we treat others, and how we treat ourselves. In this lesson, we will learn 6 simple and powerful ways to get people to respect you. These ways are not tricks. These are not fake techniques. These are real-life principles that work everywhere, in family, in friendships, at work, and in society. The first way to get people to respect you is to set boundaries and protect your self-worth. Boundaries mean knowing what is acceptable and what is not acceptable in your life. Many people think that being nice all the time will earn respect, but that is not true. When we allow people to disrespect us, ignore us, interrupt us, or use us, they slowly lose respect for us. Respect begins with self-respect. When you respect your own time, energy, feelings, and values, people notice it. Saying no does not make you bad. Saying no makes you honest. When you say, "I am busy right now," or "I am not comfortable with this," or "Please do not speak to me like that," you are not being rude. You are being clear. Clear people are respected people. When you stay silent during disrespect, you teach others that it is okay to treat you badly. Boundaries remove people who only want to use you, and they keep people who truly respect you. When you value your time, others begin to value it too. The second way to get people to respect you is to speak less and observe more. In today's world, many people talk too much and listen too little. They speak to impress. They speak to prove something. They speak without thinking. But the truth is, people respect those who speak with purpose. When you speak less, your words become more valuable. When you observe more, you understand people better. You notice who is honest, who is fake, who respects you, and who does not. Quiet people often know more than loud people. Silence shows confidence. When you listen carefully and respond calmly, people feel your presence. Emotional control in speech shows maturity. You do not need to react to everything. You do not need to explain yourself to everyone. When you speak only when needed, people listen more closely. The third way to get people to respect you is to be honest and keep your word. Honesty is rare, and that is why it is powerful. When you say something and you do it, people trust you. Trust is the foundation of respect. Anyone can make promises, but only a few people keep them. When you keep your word, people take you seriously. They depend on you. They remember you. Being honest does not mean being harsh. You can speak truth with kindness. When you lie to protect yourself, you lose respect slowly. When you tell the truth, even when it is uncomfortable, you gain respect deeply. Reliable people are respected everywhere. Talent is common, but reliability is rare. Honest people sleep peacefully because they do not carry the burden of lies. Honesty shows courage, maturity, and strength. The fourth way to get people to respect you is to take responsibility for your life. Blaming others feels easy, but it destroys respect. Making excuses may comfort you today, but it weakens you tomorrow. Responsible people are respected people. When you say, "I made a mistake," or "I need to improve," or "I will fix this," people see strength in you. Complaining does not earn respect. Solving problems earns respect. Mature people take ownership of their actions. They do not wait for others to fix their life. Responsibility builds credibility. Credibility builds respect. When you stop blaming and start improving, people notice the change. Leaders are respected because they take responsibility, even when it is hard. The fifth way to get people to respect you is to control your emotions. Anyone can get angry, anyone can shout. But calm people are powerful people. Emotional control shows inner strength. When you stay calm under pressure, people trust you. When you do not overreact, people feel safe around you. Emotional explosions destroy respect. Calm responses build it. When you control your emotions, you protect your dignity. You do not say things you regret. You do not show weakness in the wrong moment. Emotional discipline is not about hiding feelings. It is about choosing the right response. Calm people control situations without force. This is why emotionally mature people are respected everywhere. The sixth and final way to get people to respect you is to improve yourself every day. People respect growth. When you work on your skills, your health, your mindset, and your habits, it shows self-respect. When you respect yourself, others follow. Improvement builds confidence. Confidence changes how you walk, talk, and decide. Skills create value, and value earns respect. Taking care of your body shows discipline. Taking care of your mind shows wisdom. Raising your standards raises the respect people give you. Respectable people compete with their past self, not with others. They grow quietly and consistently. When you improve, insecurity fades and confidence grows. Respect follows naturally. Remember this: respect is not demanded. Respect is earned through character, discipline, honesty, responsibility, emotional control, and self-growth. If you practice these 6 ways, people will respect you without you asking. This is only the first part of our story. Now let us continue this story and go deeper into how these 6 ways slowly change a person's life and how people around them begin to behave differently without being told. As Avenil continued to observe life, he noticed that respect never arrived loudly. It arrived quietly. When a person stopped begging for attention, people started noticing them. When a person stopped explaining themselves, people started listening. When a person stopped tolerating nonsense, people started behaving better. This is how respect works. It grows silently through consistency. When you set boundaries every day, people learn your limits. At first, some people may test you, some may laugh, some may feel uncomfortable, Some may say you have changed, but over time, they adjust. They speak carefully. They think before asking. They stop crossing lines. This is not because you became rude. This is because you became clear. Clear people are respected people. Avenil realized that boundaries are not built in one day. They are built through repeated actions. Every time you say no calmly, your respect grows a little. Every time you walk away from disrespect, your value increases. People may not say it directly, but they feel it. They feel that you cannot be used easily. They feel that you are not desperate. They feel that you are stable. Stability attracts respect. Avenil also noticed the power of silence. He saw that people who talked too much were often ignored later. Their words lost meaning. Their opinions lost weight. But the people who spoke less were always listened to. When they finally spoke, the room became quiet. This is because silence creates curiosity. Silence creates mystery. Silence shows confidence. When you are comfortable with silence, people feel your presence. You do not need to dominate conversations. You do not need to interrupt. You do not need to win every argument. Observing people teaches you their nature. You see who is jealous. You see who is insecure. You see who respects you. You see who pretends. This knowledge protects you, and protected people are respected people. Honesty became another strong pillar in Avenil's life. He decided to stop lying to avoid discomfort. He chose truth with kindness. When he could not do something, he said no honestly. When he made a mistake, he accepted it openly. Slowly, people began trusting him. They believed his words. They valued his promises. When Avenil said he would come, he came. When he said he would help, he helped. People stopped doubting him. Doubt destroys respect. Trust builds it. Even when honesty made situations uncomfortable, it made relationships stronger. People may not always like the truth, but they always respect the truth teller. Taking responsibility changed everything. Avenil stopped blaming his past, his luck, his environment, and other people. When something went wrong, he asked one question: what can I do better? This question made him powerful. Instead of complaining, he learned. Instead of waiting, he acted. Instead of excuses, he created solutions. People around him noticed this shift. They saw someone reliable, someone mature, someone strong. When problems appeared, people looked at Avenil for answers. Not because he was perfect, but because he took responsibility. Responsibility creates leadership. Leadership creates respect. Emotional control became his silent weapon. When people tried to provoke him, he stayed calm. When situations became stressful, he slowed down. When arguments appeared, he listened instead of reacting. This confused people at first. They expected anger. They expected noise. But calmness changed the power dynamic. Calm people control situations. Angry people lose control. Emotional discipline protected Avenil's dignity. He stopped saying things he would regret. He stopped showing weakness to the wrong people. He chose responses instead of reactions. People began trusting him more. They felt safe around him. Safety builds respect. Self-improvement became his daily habit. Avenil worked on his skills. He improved his communication. He read books. He learned new ideas. He took care of his health. He dressed neatly. He respected his time. This self-respect reflected outwardly. His posture changed. His voice became calm. His decisions became firm. People could feel his confidence without him saying a word. Confidence without arrogance earns respect. He was not trying to prove anything. He was simply improving quietly. Growth is attractive. Discipline is admirable. People respect those who respect their own journey. Over time, Avenil understood a deep truth. Respect is a result, not a goal. When you chase respect, you lose it. When you build character, respect follows. When you focus on becoming better instead of being liked, people start valuing you. Respect does not come from shouting. It comes from silence. It does not come from fear. It comes from consistency. It does not come from words. It comes from actions. These 6 ways are not magic. They require patience. They require discipline. They require courage. But they work. Always. As this lesson comes closer to its end, remember this message from Bookzo English. You do not need to change who you are to be respected. You need to strengthen who you are. Protect your boundaries. Speak with purpose. Be honest. Take responsibility. Control your emotions. Improve yourself daily. If you do these things, people will respect you naturally. Not because you ask them to, but because your character demands it. This is the power of living with self-respect. This is how real respect is built. Now the story moves toward its final understanding, where Avenil fully realizes how respect changes not only how others treat us, but also how we see ourselves. As days passed, Avenil noticed that respect first appeared inside him before it appeared outside. When he woke up early, followed his routine, and kept promises to himself, his confidence grew quietly. He no longer felt the need to explain his choices to everyone. He no longer felt guilty for protecting his peace. This inner calm made his presence stronger. People could feel it without words. When he entered a room, he did not try to impress anyone. He simply stayed grounded. This grounded nature made people curious. They started listening more when he spoke. They started asking his opinion. They started trusting his judgment. Respect was forming naturally. Avenil also learned that respect does not mean everyone will like you. Some people became distant. Some people felt uncomfortable with his boundaries. Some people stopped calling. At first, this felt strange. But then he understood something important. Respect filters people. Those who only liked you for favors will leave. Those who only stayed for benefit will disappear. And this is not loss. This is clarity. When the wrong people leave, space opens for the right people. People who value you. People who listen to you. People who treat you fairly. Respect improves the quality of relationships, not the quantity. In his daily life, Avenil practiced small actions. He arrived on time. He spoke clearly. He listened fully. He avoided gossip. He did not insult others to look smart. He did not complain to gain sympathy. He focused on what he could control. These small actions looked simple, but together they created a powerful image. People saw him as dependable. People saw him as mature. People saw him as someone with standards. Standards are invisible, but they are always felt. A person with standards does not accept everything. That is why they are respected. Avenil noticed something else too. Respect changed how conflicts ended. Earlier, arguments drained him. Now conflicts ended faster. When he stayed calm, others calmed down. When he spoke slowly, others listened. When he refused to react emotionally, others lost the power to provoke him. Respect creates emotional distance from drama. Drama feeds on reaction. When reaction stops, drama dies. People stopped trying to test him because they knew it would not work. This saved him energy. Energy saved became energy invested in growth. At work, Avenil's reputation improved. He was not the loudest. He was not the most aggressive, but he was consistent. He completed tasks. He owned mistakes. He learned quickly. When problems appeared, he did not hide. He stepped forward. Slowly, people trusted him with responsibility. Responsibility increased his value. Value increased his respect. Respect increased his opportunities. This cycle repeated itself. Respect opens doors that talent alone cannot open. In family life, things also changed. When Avenil spoke respectfully but firmly, people listened. When he refused emotional manipulation, it stopped. When he controlled his tone, arguments reduced. Family members began treating him as an adult, not because of age, but because of behavior. Respect at home begins with emotional discipline. Calm communication creates balance. Balance creates respect. Avenil also learned that self-improvement never ends. Respect is not a destination. It is a lifestyle. Some days are strong, some days are weak. But discipline keeps the direction right. Even when motivation is low, habits protect progress. Reading daily sharpened his mind. Exercise strengthened his body. Silence strengthened his awareness. Reflection strengthened his wisdom. These habits made him internally rich. Internal richness reflects externally as confidence. Confidence without arrogance is rare, and rarity earns respect. One important lesson Avenil understood was that respect cannot be borrowed. You cannot copy someone else's personality. You cannot fake confidence. You cannot act strong for long. Real respect comes from alignment, when your words match your actions, when your values match your behavior, when your promises match your effort. This alignment creates authenticity. Authentic people are respected everywhere. As this story reaches its close, remember this message from Bookzo English. Respect is built when no one is watching. It is built in small choices, in silent discipline, in honest words, in calm reactions, in daily improvement. You do not need to shout to be seen. You do not need to fight to be valued. Build yourself quietly. Protect your dignity. respect your own standards. The world responds to self-respect. Avenil's journey teaches us one final truth. The way people treat you is often a reflection of how you treat yourself. When you raise your inner standards, the outer world adjusts. Respect follows character. Always. This is the complete lesson of 6 ways to get people to respect you.